am so ready to be done.
Hopefully I start the labor vlog tonight. Probably not though. All right, I just finished getting gas and stopping by the dollar store because this week on my agenda is making cookies for the neighbors. Now you might be thinking, what on earth is she talking about? She's crazy. Why is that part of your nesting? But here's my train of thought. I'm gonna be hooting and hollering when I go into labor, and the last thing I want is neighbors who don't know what's going on calling the police because they think something bad is happening. I know that's not likely, but it's a huge fear of mine. And on the other hand, we're going to be having a crying baby very soon in the middle of the night at all hours. And we have pretty close proximity neighbors. So to be the best neighbor possible, I'm going to make sure that I'm sweetening the deal before it happens. I'm going to go home, prep for lunch, and then after that, I'm actually going to be heading to my non-stress test. Happy weekend, everybody. I am 37 weeks pregnant officially this weekend. Hoping to go into labor, although I think that is complete delusion. I don't think it's actually going to happen. So far today, we've gone on our little coffee shop date because in my brain, I'm like, this is potentially the last date we're going to go on before baby. Again, probably delusional. We just got some Wendy's. By the way, check your local Wendy's. Always especially
fresh, never frozen.
There's so much we accidentally
not a man, is that what I used to say?
Yeah. We accidentally got a double cheeseburger, which I thought would be like a $1 menu cheeseburger. Look at that beef. That's certifiably beefy.
All the beef.
But if you're pregnant, check your local Wendy's right now because I got this Frosty for $1, which is not only a steal, but it's like the perfect amount.
I also endorse the spicy nugs. Get the soaked nugs, or whatever they're called, the saucy nugs.
Soaked nugs.
That sounds pretty bad.
That sounds pretty bad.
Is that not PG?
They're very... I like my nugs extra wet. Anyways, so that's what we're doing. And like classy people, we're eating that in the parking lot of a fine art museum. So I'm gonna walk around the museum, maybe walk around our city's history museum. I figure the more I walk, the further this baby gets down and the closer to being out they are, because I'm actually officially measuring ahead almost 2 weeks. Not great. I can feel it. I feel like my skin is starting to feel all of the pressure and the strain of that as well. So I wouldn't be mad if I went into labor. That is all for today. I'm gonna have some clips of like all of our cute little date things, and then hopefully I start the labor vlog tonight. Probably not though. Anyways, that's it. Hey everyone. That right there is our dog Frank, for sure. The idea of hospitals and birth is kind of scary to me, but it would have been a lot scarier back in this day. So I guess I'm gonna be okay. Okay, how'd you like the museum?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, fun day.
Yeah.
Feel like that's gonna be our last date before the baby, or no? You think we got time? When's your prediction? When do you think I'm going into labor?
2 weeks, 3 days.
2 weeks, 3 days. I don't even know what day that is.
Neither do I. That sounds right.
It is Sunday morning. We are about to head to church. This is how the bump and everything is looking. I've been wearing this dress to church a lot in the 3rd trimester, so it's been fun watching my body change throughout the weeks.
Supposed to drink coffee, not breathe it in. That's my bad.
Yeah.
I breathed it in.
Anyways, Bob's inhaling coffee over there, and I am packing cookies for church because if I don't, I will be a hangry little monster after church, and we have errands to run. Today, hopefully, I'm getting the house a little bit in order before the week starts to make me feel a little more calm, at peace, but also I'm really tired, so it might be a lazy day. We will just have to see. It is later in the evening, and this is like a very
raw, real look at the third trimester and what it can look like. It doesn't mean it's going to be like this for you, by the way, if you're pregnant. I don't want to scare you. But I am so ready to be done. My back's hurting, my hips are hurting. The baby also is just, at this point, they're so big, they're ready to come out. They're thinking it's already around 7.5 pounds or so in there, which is crazy. But I have like 3 weeks left to go until my induction date. And I'm hoping to go into natural labor before then. As you can see, I'm currently like rolling on this birth ball. But again, there's no feeling like that is going to happen in my brain right now. I keep thinking like I'm getting closer because I'll have contractions and then they'll stop. And then I'll have them again and they'll go away. But I think what I'm realizing in this moment is I just need to give myself some grace, because I really feel tempted to be hard on myself in terms of like, I didn't get as much done today as I thought I would. That I was going to get the house all cleaned after church and everything in order in case I did go into labor. But that's not the reality. The reality is we got home from church and I needed to take a nap. And then immediately I woke up from a nap and was throwing up and cramping, and I feel like a lot of it at this point is just surviving, which is different than what I'm used to. I feel like if I have any advice for anybody else going through this, it's just to A, give yourself that grace, and B, in terms of giving yourself that grace, I feel very tempted with the nesting bug and all of that to get the house perfectly clean before baby. And I had this image I was holding on to that everything was going to get done and it would be perfect. And once everything was done and everything was perfect, that's when baby would come. But the reality of it is from 37 weeks onwards to like 42 weeks even, for some people, you give birth anytime. And it's so unrealistic of you to consider yourself at that point when you're like at your lowest, feeling worn down, all of that, and think like, I'm gonna have my house perfectly clean 24/7. I'm gonna have all of this figured out. I'm gonna have all the laundry put away every single day at all the times. And if you're that kind of mom and you've got that under control, that's freaking awesome. I'm not. I'm just human, and I know a lot of you out there are just human too. So I'm trying to reframe my brain and be like, okay, if there's a couple dishes in the sink when I go into labor, if I need to quickly make the bed, if the clothes aren't folded but they're clean, it's gonna be okay. The baby's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. And at this point, I just need to make sure that the whole me being okay thing is really a thing, because at this point I also feel like I have the option of like pushing myself really hard and doing all the things and stuff. My stomach's sticking out. But this is what is really going on, and this is how I'm feeling. I feel like I talk a lot about the physical stuff and not as much about the emotional components of pregnancy, but they're just as real. And they can be just as frustrating. And that hurdle of feeling like you're ready to meet your baby on one hand, and on the other hand, you're terrified and you are stressed and tired and all of the things at once. That's real. It's okay. If you're going through that too, I see you. And we're gonna get through this together. Hopefully, I keep saying like, hopefully I go into labor tonight. But tonight's the first night that really, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I hope I don't go into labor tonight. I'm run down, my body's exhausted, and I'm emotionally exhausted. But just as with all things, I feel like this is a good reminder to me to like just surrender to God's timing and to surrender to the fact that like this is not in my control. It's really not. Worst case scenario, we have the induction, and that is in 2.5 weeks at this point. So I'm hoping to just have the babies slow down on their growing. I know they don't, but I'm a little delusional and I think they will, because right now I am like bursting at the seams. I have a couple of these stretch marks that appeared literally overnight. And this is also my first experience with stretch marks that actually kind of hurt. Now, I'm not meaning to freak you out again, because they're gonna be fine. They'll go away. I have tons of stretch marks on like my hips from this all pulling forward on my skin. I don't have as much give on my skin because I am a fairly thin set person. I also was very, very muscular and toned before pregnancy, so I had a very low body fat percentage and not as much room for the skin to glide. So pretty quickly on, even though genetically my family doesn't get many of these, I got a lot of stretch marks just because it pulled so hard, so fast. I also have a fairly big baby. Both of those things completely normal, stretch marks completely normal. But in the last part of the like third trimester, your baby can grow so big, so quick, that the stretch marks can happen very suddenly. And what I didn't know about these is that can hurt. So I have a couple of those going on too. And I'm feeling it today. I am. Anyways, that's my little mini update. Again, not to freak you guys out, not to be a Debbie Downer. I'm so lucky and so blessed to have this baby. I feel like for the most part, third trimester treated me fairly well. And this is just one of those inevitable things where you're at the end of a race. You're getting tired, you're getting kind of defeated feeling, but the end is coming soon. And I think that's where I'm at, is like that end of the marathon feeling of like, okay, I feel like I can't do it, but I know I can. And I know my body can keep pushing. And I've just got to let myself exist in this and not feel so hard on myself for being in this position. That was a lot. If you are still here, bless you for sitting through that whole rant. But really, if you're still here, I hope that your pregnancy, if you're pregnant, is going well, or will in the future, or if you're praying for babies, that you get them soon. If you're out there and you've had your babies already, I hope they're doing well. And if you're just watching because you're bored and this is a fun kind of content for you to watch, I hope you're having a good day too. This week I have a couple more doctor's appointments to go to. I'm gonna get a little bit of nesting done, maybe, hopefully. We're not gonna put too much pressure on ourselves here. We're not doing that. But I do have a little bit of nesting to do. And I finally did finish setting up all of the little things for tummy time, all of my baskets. So I am gonna turn this around and show you that really quick as well. All right, welcome to my living room. Yes, the TV's broken, but we are not into wasting things and we can still see and enjoy and watch our TV. It's perfectly fine. Anyhow, we've got our mood lighting on. I've got baby swing finally set up. I'm very excited about this. It's in a perfect position too, so it's kind of out of the way from our walkway and everything, but we'll still be able to see them as we go through and we're in the kitchen or cleaning up here. Oh, birth ball's rolling away. Speaking of, not an actual birth ball, this is a yoga ball from Walmart. And if you're looking for a birth ball, this is your sign. Do not buy one. Buy a yoga ball that is the correct size for you and you will save literally $20. Anyways, we have the tummy time mat set up here. I have the newborn sensory stuff. So we have the black and white visual simulation cards. I have a folding mirror, soft tummy time books, and just things like that. And then I have soft blocks here for when they get a little bit older. Of course, they're not going to be using their fine motor skills with it yet, but it's still fun. We have some small little books to have in the living room. We have some that are a little bigger. And then these ones are all board books that are good for little fingers. Again, not until like the 4 to 6 month mark we'll be using these, but it's still nice to have them around. Here we have our little object permanence box, some soft blocks. These are all silicone. I'm trying not to have any plastic toys, but silicone that is BPA free is totally okay with me. We have our rolling hedgehog, which is the cutest thing I've ever seen, and Dino, as well as the Sneeches, another little brown bear. What do you see?
And of course, we have our abacus / letterboard. Now, I know a lot of these we won't be using for a while, but it feels nice just to have it all set up. That way I can come out here, we can do some tummy time together. I also have our little diaper bin that I put together for out here to have diaper changes done when we're in the living room. And yeah. This is officially the last update of today's video, but I just got back from my 37.5-week doctor's appointment. I'm not fully 38 weeks yet, so you'll have to stay tuned for the video next week if I keep making it that far, to be honest. But baby did in fact go through a giant growth spurt this weekend. That is part of the reason why you might notice I'm looking a little rough today, feeling a little rough too, but that's okay. We're giving ourselves grace here. They are now measuring at 39 weeks pregnant, at 37 weeks, which is crazy to me, but also not fully unexpected. My family has pretty big babies, and so this might just be another giant baby to add to the family. Make sure you stay subscribed and stay tuned for future videos. I don't know how long I'm going to make it. Baby is officially fully engaged, it seems like, from the outside at least. My provider doesn't do cervical checks yet until 39 weeks, so again, stay tuned because that's coming in next week's video. But I have a feeling they could come anytime. We'll have the birth vlog coming soon. I know my words might be a little scrambled. I am a little scrambled, to be honest. I'm not getting the most sleep anymore. If you're a third trimester mom, I feel like you can relate. But we have that coming your way. We've got some really good content with the newborn stuff and just experiencing life postpartum as a new mom. So be subscribed for that. But I will see you in the next one.